spent and the money's all spent. We're murdered from every direction. The workers get taxed while the wealthy relax.
With merry a moment's reflection.
Where there's grass, there's muck.
And we don't give an arse. There's a program against insurrection. And I say, bugger the bankers and politicians. Bugger the bureaucrats too. Bugger the buggers who make up the rules. And if you're one of them, bugger you. And if you're one of them, bugger you.
Now all you good people with passion to vent, don't give up the struggle for justice. But I've done my time on the protesters' line, and these days I show my dissent.
By loitering within my tent. And I say, bugger the bankers and politicians. Bugger the bureaucrats too. Bugger the buggers who make up the rules. And if you're one of them, bugger you. And if you're one of them, bugger you. Oh, bugger the bankers and politicians. Bugger the bureaucrats too. Bugger the buggers who make up the rules. And if you're one of them, bugger you. And if you're one of them, bugger you. And if you're one of
Okay. Hi folks, welcome to People for People. I'm just going to say hello to everybody. We're now on the 20th of November 2018. Hello O'Darby, Charles Two Dog, Joan, Angel, Neutrons, myself, Troy, somebody else was on there but they're away now. I'm sure they'll come back in again if they want to know. Anyway, tonight we're going to cover issues with DWP and universal credits. As you'll know, are people who are on DWP or universal credits, and this isn't just affecting people who are unemployed or on the sick. This is actually going to affect people who are working. But for the people who are unemployed and at the present moment maybe on the sick, then what's happening is that people are being sent time and time again for reassessments. Now, one of my friends had an assessment maybe about 2 months ago, if it was as long as that, and he got 24 points, so got all money backdated. Lump sum of money backdated because he won his case. And then what happened was they sent him for another assessment. They've sent a letter to send him for another assessment. He went down to see his doctor and said, what's the point in you being a doctor if they can overrule what you're saying? And his doctor told him, today, I can't assess who's fit to work and who isn't. Now, if a doctor who's prescribed saying, giving you sick lines to say you're no fit to work, and then he tells you, I can't decide if you're fit for work or not. How does that work? So obviously he had a fight with the doctor, an argument with the doctor. He couldn't believe that that's what the doctor said. Now if that's the case, and all these doctors have got that attitude, or are taking that attitude, what the hell are they signing sick lines for? Does that no mean they're a liar then? If they can't decide who's fit to work and who's not fit to work? Surely by signing that sick line, he's declaring that in his medical opinion, you're unfit to work. But that didn't seem to be the case. So that's an issue and a fight that we maybe need to take on, and instead of talking about it, maybe do something about it, like take a lawsuit or something against him. So we're going to look at that, because I really think that's what's needing to be done, folks. Because I'll tell you what's happening. With them signing him off the sick, what he's got to now do, pardon me, if he wants to get benefits and if he wants his rent and council tax paid, he's got to now go and claim universal credits. Now, everybody knows there's a rollout of the universal credits, and they're trying to get it overall in Glasgow by the end of December 2018. They've not got much time to go, so the way I see it is the easiest thing for them to do is to sign people off, send them their P45, which they did with him, they sent him his P45, and then he's got to go and put in a fresh claim. Now, anybody as of September 2018 who had to make a fresh claim now have to claim universal credits. So what an easy way to get everybody to transfer is all you do, sign them off, say they're fit for work, even though you know they're not, right? You know they're not fit for work, but you need them to be on universal credits rather than employment support allowance or sickness benefit or whatever benefit they might be on, or allowances. We're not going to call them benefits anymore. So when I say the word allowances, I mean what they think is benefits. It's not a benefit. It's an allowance. They say benefit to diminish or to demean you, to make you feel like you're taking something out of the system that you shouldn't be taking. But that's a load of codswallop. That is definitely not the truth. So what they've done with him is signed him off and said, right, there's your P45, we're not giving you any more money or entitlements or whatever. Allowances, entitlements, they are entitlements. So you have to now claim universal credits. Now when you claim the universal credits, I spoke to another friend yesterday and she was helping somebody who'd claimed universal credits. The person was like him, signed off, left with no money. Now he's had no money for 2 weeks. They just signed him off. His money was due it's a week actually, because his money was due last Tuesday. He never got a penny. Nobody has phoned him to say, are you okay, if you got a pint of milk, if you got a loaf. They've just signed him off. So I don't really think they're supposed to do that. You see, this is a problem. They've not got a follow-up system. So he's okay because he's surrounded with people, but there's thousands of people who are not okay and they're not surrounded with people. And the one I'm going to tell you about next is absolutely shocking. I don't know the full story and I don't know the person's name, but I'm not really going to give the person's name. But what happened was that, again, she gets signed off as being fit for work. She wasn't fit for work and she applied for universal credit. So that's now 2 people in the last fortnight that I've heard that's been signed off benefits or allowances or entitlements and then had to claim universal credit. And when you go and claim the universal credits, it takes I think it's 16 weeks, but I think my pal told me it's no 16 weeks, it's 6 weeks that it's now taken to fix the universal credits. But regardless of how long it takes, if they sign you off today and they're not fixing anything, any allowances for you for 2 weeks, if you've got kids, how are you supposed to live? You see? So they're leaving people absolutely destitute. That is illegal and immoral. So what happened with this one that my friend told me about, this is my other friend, she was helping somebody else and she applied for the universal credits for her on her behalf, and they said, you've got to fill in the form, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. So there's all these hurdles for the person to go through. Anyway, my friend helped her, she completed the form for her, she put the form in for her, and she did get her some money. Wow, that was good, because they gave her money, or fiat currency. But what they done was, they've gave her a loan. It's some kind of allowance loan to get you to when they sort out your allowances. So just say it wasn't really this amount of money, but just say it was like 1,300 quid, right? So they've gave her a loan of 1,300 quid, and that's to do her until the 20th of December. 20th of December. This is the 20th of November. She's not been paid for 2 weeks already. She's got another 4 weeks to go until the 20th of December, so it could be 4 or 5 weeks. So that could be somewhere between 6 and 7 weeks before that person gets any more money. They've been given 1,300 quid, and she was told, remember and pay your rent off it. It's a loan. So they gave her a loan, and she'd have told her to pay her rent off that loan. When did this all happen, that people are having to use their allowances, entitlements on a weekly basis that the government say you need to live on, and then they tell them they have to pay their rent off it? So that to me tells me that woman is going to have to pay on average £800 of that £1,300 just to the factor, just to pay her rent. Because she'll have to pay November's rent, she'll have to pay December's rent. Because, again, when your rent is paid, just like your council tax, it's not at the end of the month, it's the 1st of the month. So on the 1st of December, that woman's rent money will be due again, so she's going to probably have to pay somewhere in the average of 800 quid off that £1,300 loan. So when do we get that we give people loans and then say pay your rent off it? So it's not to feed her, because by the time she pays her rent and her council tax, she'll have no money left, because her council tax is probably in the region of 100 to 150 quid. I don't know anybody who doesn't pay, somewhere in the region of 100 to 150 pound, so it's another 200, 150, maybe 200 pound to come off it to pay the council tax. So that's £1,000, so now she's down to 300 quid. That's to keep her and feed her and clothe her and heat her house, pay her electricity, pay her gas, pay her phone and her internet, because remember we need an internet to be able to claim these benefits or entitlements or allowances. And she's got to pay a television licence, because if you use a computer or any of this, then you need it, or your television or whatever. Where do they get off in doing this to people? I tell you why they're able to do it. Because us people on this site and other people who are listening around the world and other sites that are all talking about it, that's exactly all they're doing, talking. Nobody's actually doing anything. Now see that person that got that loan from the Universal Credits, which to do her till the 20th of December 2018, she couldn't fill the forms in because the person couldn't read or write. She was incapable of reading and writing. You see, they've not got any facility for helping these people. If it hadn't been for my friend getting in touch with her and helping her, filling in all the forms for her, the lassie would have been left another week without any allowances to be able to buy the bare essentials. This is the same scumbags that are taking thousands of pounds in expenses, the same scumbags that are saying, oh, I'm doing what I can, and they're doing nothing. But it's our fault. Everybody's too busy. I get everybody's busy, but they can't be busy all the time. You're no busy 24/7. Everybody could spare an hour a week somewhere to do something. But it doesn't matter what you organise, the majority of people say, I can't make it, I'm busy that night, I've no got time, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's not really that they're busy, it's just not something that's important to them because it doesn't affect them, and that's the problem, people. The biggest problem here is it doesn't affect you, so you don't bother. You know? And it's time we stop that, people. There's no point in keeping coming on these radio shows and talking but doing nothing. We really need to get some action, and we have been talking about it for a long time, but we're not doing enough. We're not doing enough. And if we're the people that know this stuff and we're not doing enough, how can we expect the people who know nothing to stand up and do something when they don't even know what they're fighting against? It's time for us to get organised. But I've said this time and time again, you know, Billy said it before he died, Joan's been on the backed up the internet, she said it time and time again, but again, we've still done nothing. And we're in November, and we've only got a month for universal credits to hit. Amber Rood today, there was a wee article today, and Amber Rood admits that the universal credit is in trouble. Now, Amber Rood, left the Home Office over the Windrush scandal and has joined the Work and Pensions Department just as its flagship benefits reform is under fire from all angles. The new Secretary of State spent most of her first session at the dispatch box this afternoon answering questions on universal credit, and she had arrived determined to strike a rather different tone from her predecessor. Esther McVeigh, who resigned from the role last week, had garnered a reputation for being rather hardline when dealing with criticisms of the benefit rollout, while also managing to give far more away about some of its problems than Number 10 would have liked. Rudd, meanwhile, lost her job earlier this year, partly because she had decided to follow Theresa May's footsteps rather too faithfully in creating a hostile environment for immigration. Now she joins a time of great instability, both for the Prime Minister and universal credit, and therefore the new Cabinet Minister needed to show that she wasn't going to stick her fingers in her ears and pretend that everything was all right. So Theresa May must have sacked her for her other job, and now when she's in trouble she's brought her back. And obviously she's brought her back because she's a sheep and just follows whatever Theresa May says, because that's what it says there.
She had to sack her, she was caught out lying, Theresa.
Cheers, Thanks, right, so what happened then? Come in and tell us.
I'm not sure what the lie was, but I had been reading that a couple of days ago that she'd had to go before because she'd been caught out in a lie. She's now coming back in. It doesn't matter who's coming back in, Theresa, it doesn't matter who's going to run it. They are determined to run that through, and you're absolutely right. The problem is this doesn't affect everybody. See, if it affected everybody, they'd be up in arms. But that division has been created over a long period of time. I mean, how many people do you hear looking down at people that are on benefits?
All the time.
They should
want to
get
try
themselves
walking
a
in their
job.
shoes. But the problem is, Joan, I'm not saying there is some scammers out there, we know that.
Yeah.
But I would say they're the minority rather than majority.
Absolutely the majority, and if you take it from its other angle, if we didn't go to war, we'd be able to pay for it all and have plenty left over. If we didn't pay our judges £60,000 on top of an already exuberant salary of 180 grand, pardon me, there would be money there to pay for these things. These governments don't care. They're following the agenda of their puppet masters, and that's the big thing. Nobody stands up to them. Nobody wants to get involved. Like you say, I don't know how many times I've tried to organise wee meetings here, Theresa, but nobody's interested.
No. Even our own people, Joan, we're coming on these shows every week, and even our own folk, we can't even get them out.
And that's a big problem with it. So how do you begin to take on that machine, that political machine, when there's only, half a dozen of us looking into all this stuff?
Yep.
Getting a good understanding, being able to help each other. I mean, I don't know how many folk I've helped now in terms of the PIP and stuff, but the universal credit, I was reading about a lassie down south last week. She ended up just about getting evicted because she had a 9-week wait to go on to this universal credit. Now, the girl had been on benefits, had kept up with all her payments and everything else. For that 9 weeks, all she had to live on was £34, which was her child credit. If she hadn't had those children and that child credit, she would have had nothing. And she was saying it was absolutely a choice between a loaf of bread or a pint of milk. That's how bad it was for her. She's now in arrears with her rent and is still, worried about eviction, but she's got her claim now, so hopefully we'll be... But this is the kind of thing this government's doing to people all over the country.
But we're sitting back letting them, Joan. Because we're the ones that knows about it.
So how do we stop them, Theresa? Because I'd love to stop them. What can we do?
Well, what was it? Was it Gamby that said, be the change you want to be, or want to see? So it only takes one person to stand up, Joan. Only takes one person to stand up. Okay, loads of them will ridicule you, and loads of them will come and say you're cuckoo and you're this, that and the next thing, but, maybe it's time to stand up. As you know, I've not really been in a brilliant place anyway, but, here's another thing I wanted to talk about. You know how we're talking about the water being full of fluoride, and you can't eat the fish in the seas because of the plastics, and there's really no much, and all the food being contaminated, and everything we touch is being contaminated. We know the chemtrails are out there in the skies, so that's destroying all the planet, to be honest with you. But I was at my brother-in-law's last week, and I says to him I was going to start using the distiller. I haven't used the distiller since Billy died, right? So I said, I'm going to start using that distilled water, I says, because all the crap that's in the water in Glasgow. Oh, it might be in the water everywhere, but Glasgow water's not as nice as it used to be. And he said, oh, yeah, distilled water, I drank gallons of that. And I says, what do you mean you drank gallons of it? He says, well, that's all we ever used in the ships. He was in the Navy.
Right.
And I says, right, I was scared to drink it, I said, because it takes out all the minerals. He went, yeah, it does take the minerals. I said, but all you do is put this in or that in, and that puts the minerals back in the water that you need. But then you still get fresh water. I said, oh, that's how you've outlived 3 of your brothers then. Because you were in the Navy most of your life. And you were drinking all the good water, getting all the good food, Because it hadn't occurred to me that these people that are living like the Queen and all the rest of it, they're already got the best of the water and everything else. That hadn't occurred to me. I'm thinking they're eating the same food as us, they're drinking the same water as us, but they're really no.
No.
They're not eating the same food, they're not drinking the same water.
No, I don't think you'd be getting the likes of the Queen drinking her tap water.
No.
I don't think that would be happening at all.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that, but then when you think about it, when they were putting water supplies onto the ships, they'd be tough to make sure that it was good water for their sailors and their troops.
Distilled. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. That was, I just heard it last week.
I'm going to come back to universal credit there, because
Yep.
I found a wee article yesterday. Apparently Gateshead Council had commissioned Teesside and Newcastle universities to do a wee study on it.
Right?
And they've come out yesterday and said that a damning report has condemned universal credit, claiming that it causes depression, anxiety and even suicidal thoughts. They're saying that the new benefit system has placed enormous stress on those affected, with some even claiming to be considering taking their own life. Now, that's a university study coming out, and that's just a short study that was done since the rollout, and that's already telling us that this is putting people under severe stress. Now, if they're having suicidal thoughts, I don't think that they're going to be too healthy in terms of oxidative stress and everything else. And this is what they're going to run with. They're not going to stop it. They're not going to listen.
How much money do they think they're going to save with running the universal credit system?
They're not going to save it, Theresa. It's all just make you happy.
It's going to cost them a fortune.
Well, they've already had to put, did you say 5 billion last week? They've already had to put an extra 5 billion into it. It just shows you how they cost these things as well. They don't do that very well. I'm sure this report here had said that to put another 4.5 billion into something. And all we're seeing is that the food bank's getting overstretched as well, because people just don't have it.
I know, my friend was offered a food bank yesterday. He says, well, I'm vegetarian, so have you got a vegetarian parcel? One of my other friends is vegan. But the problem is when you go to the food banks, they just give you a bag of food. They don't ask you.
No,
If you're vegetarian or you're vegan or you've got dietary problems or, you know, they don't ask you if you've got allergies to this, that or the next thing. They just give you a bag and say, there you go.
Aye, there's no choice.
There
No
isn't any
choice
choice.
at all.
I've been to it myself, I've took, no with me, but I went with somebody, but I'm the same as everybody else. I would actually starve before I would go to them, to be honest with you, Joan.
It's ridiculous that people have to go to them.
We shouldn't have food banks, it's disgusting. In this day and age, the wealth of this country, and we've got food banks, I wouldn't put a pint of milk in a food bank. Because this is the problem, people think they're helping folk who are on the dole with no money and all the rest of it. They're not helping them. All they're doing is helping the government to be able to sanction people in the first place. I wouldn't honestly, I wouldn't put anything in them. And that's why I wouldn't take anything out, because I'm not prepared to put it in.
Well, I used to always put to the food banks, but I don't anymore. What I do now is I give to Cloud. That's an organisation, Changing Lives on Your Doorstep. And they support families. It's done on Facebook, actually, but they're building a website. People might want to look once that website's up. It's an organisation...
What's it called? I'm going to write that down. What's it?
Cloud, yeah, Changing Lives on Your Doorsteps. There's a 5 group, that's how I got to know about it.
That's what that was last week, at the weekend. Changing Lives on Your Doorstep.
Yeah. It was a guy in Liverpool that set it up, and he's got a group down there, and there's groups over the UK. But basically what they're doing is people are coming to them and saying, look, you know, I can't get my benefits or whatever, or if they've been in maybe a domestic violence situation and they've left with nothing, they'll put a request into the admin of Cloud and say, look, I've got nothing. The admin of Cloud will put a notice out saying, I need nappies, I need baby milk, I need such and such, you know. We've got somebody here in need. And people drop off stuff to them all the time, Theresa. The other thing that they do is, if people have got, say, a bed to give away, they can advertise it on Cloud, and folk that are in need can ask for it. And they're really, really supporting people. But again, we shouldn't need these groups. Nobody
we shouldn't need the groups, Joan. And the other problem you've got, sorry pal, we shouldn't need the groups, Joan. And the other problem you've got is, like I told you last week or the week before, I've got another friend who's running about ragged, delivering beds, cots, baby stuff to all sorts of different people, walks of life. And some of the people are actually selling that stuff.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They need it and they're selling it. And she's running ragged, trying to help, thinking she's doing a good turn. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what destroys it for the genuine cases, because how do you differentiate or decipher who's genuine and who isn't? How can you decide, oh, that person definitely looks like they've no got 2 bob? I mean, I remember working for somebody years ago, and he was away to Paris with his wife, and he was standing at the corner waiting on his wife coming. Anyway, just 5 minutes before he had came, there was a beggar on the street, and he just walked by the guy and looked at him in disgust, right? 5 minutes later, he was standing at the corner, and somebody went up and offered him money. Well, he went back and gave that man 100 quid, because he realised then how bad that man felt being on the streets. Because this guy looked like he didn't have 2 copper coins, but he was actually loaded. There's loads of people out there that don't look like they've got 2 copper coins, and they've got more money than you know, more money than all of us put together. They just don't dress well, or they don't care what they look like, or I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they've had that problem too with Cloud, whereby they've helped people out, or they've allowed somebody to ask for an item that's been donated, and then found them selling it on eBay, you know. Yeah. So they've had that problem. Yeah.
Oh, that was disheartening.
It's very disheartening, but what Hayley and that runs it were saying is, we know we're going to get these situations, we just have to be as careful as we can be. And who we're deciding we will help. so that we don't come across these situations. Again, that's people ruining it for others, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's the same with everything, John, in every walk of life. But you are going to always get the scammers. You're always going to get the person who doesn't do the right thing, that does it for their own personal financial gain, rather than for their own personal need.
Yeah.
You see, what do you need and what do you not need? This is it, back to the same old story. What is it you actually need? You know?
Well, I would say we don't need awfully much, Theresa. I would say that, you know, right, we need water. That's a given. We need air, that's getting chemtrail today.
Yeah, we need fresh air, no the chemtrail poison.
We need our sunlight. We need all these things, but on top of that, do we really need 70-inch tellies? No.
No, you don't need a 70-inch telly. You might want a 70-inch telly. This is
Exactly.
We've got away, again, Joan, we've got away from what is actually needed to what is actually wanted. And people just don't know the difference between a need and a want.
No, they don't. And they don't know the difference between need and greed, Theresa.
That's it in a nutshell. Yeah, they definitely don't.
You know, they convince themselves they need things. Again, we've got a fantastic, I mean, you can't deny their efficiency. We've got a fantastic advertising industry that convinces people they need this. They need the latest smartphone. No, you don't.
No.
You know, you need Nike shoes. Meanwhile, they're getting made in a sweatshop for $2, but you're going to buy £140 a pair for the privilege of having Nike on them, because we have massive advertising campaigns to pay for, and we like a lot of profit.
Yeah.
You know, and people actually believe that nonsense. No, you don't need Nike trainers.
No.
You need something in your feet, but
Yep.
you don't need Adidas or whatever. I'll not just stick to Nike. But unfortunately, I mean, I worked with a kid last year who thought that I must have been a terrible mum and my kids must have been bullied because I don't do the brand stuff, the fashion stuff, and never have done, never will do. You know, and this kid used to say to me, your kids must have been bullied at school, you must have been a terrible mum, because he had to have the best of everything, and his mum provided. Well, see, that's the thing, it's not the best. He had to have the brand names.
Aye.
And his mum provided that and told that, oh, yeah, you need to have that, because if you don't have everything the other kids have, you get bullied. That's not what you want to teach your kids.
No,
you don't want to teach your kids that their self-worth depends on what kind of shoes they're wearing, or what tracksuit they can afford, or, you know, that's part of the problem as well, because a lot of young people don't have any self-worth. Everything, their identity is based on brand names.
But that was the same as when my weans were wee, Joan. My kids went through all that crap. It didn't really affect them, I don't think. But David and Laura didn't really bother, you know. Robert was probably more affected by it, because he liked to have the same as everybody else, you know. And he liked to have Nike trainers. That was how when he got to 10, I said, oh, son, I don't pay 50 quid for trainers. But there you go, wee man, there's your 50 quid for your birthday. You want to spend that on one pair of trainers, knock yourself out. You know, so when he got to 10, I just got everybody, I said, oh, do me a favour, going to just give him a £5 or a 10 or whatever it is you're going to spend on him, just put it in a card. I said, and he'll put it all together, and then he'll just go and buy whatever it is that he wants. And fair play to him, that is actually what he done. So my friends used their birthday money and their Christmas money to buy whatever they wanted. Yeah,
and fair play to him for that, but when you're bringing kids up to buy into the big con, you know, you weren't telling them to buy into that. You were saying, oh no, I'm not spending £50 on a pair of trainers. Same trainers would be about 140 the day. You weren't...
Yeah, because he's 36 now, you know. That 50 quid was a lot of money, Joan.
Yeah, oh, tell me about it.
No, I don't think so, son. I can't fund this, but they just don't understand, you know. They think it's... I was probably guilty of it myself, Joan, and it's not until you get older that you realise that you've actually been part of the problem. You know? I never spent a lot. I never bought my kids all year round. I bought them, I gave them £50 at their birthdays and at Christmas. I spent 200 or 300 quid. I was nuts at Christmas, right? My kids never done without anything, and Laura will tell you, the only thing I never got her was a horse. So I bought you a hobby horse. You know? She wanted a horse. How the hell could I afford a horse? A horse? Wouldn't have been able to pay for the food for the horse, do you know what I mean?
Never mind the horse.
Never mind the horse, I bought a hobby horse. You know? Very good one. Better than nothing then. You asked for a horse, you got a hobby horse. You didn't stipulate what one you wanted, you know?
So
I mean, she's great fun on that hobby horse, you know? But, I mean, she's 32 now, she still talks about that to this day. But there was nothing that she wanted that she never got, John. You know?
I couldn't say that about my kids. There were things they wanted they didn't get, but they themselves would tell you that doesn't matter to them. You know, that they had a really good childhood. I entertained them for free a lot. I would take them to the pet shop to visit a parrot.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. I never even thought of that. But I mean, do you know, my kids were fortunate, Joan, because we did take them somewhere every year because, you know, Billy's auntie stayed down in Newmarket, his sister stayed in Kirkcudbright, his brother lived up in Nairn, so every year my wains went somewhere.
Yeah, you know? And I had that. Thankfully I had that, because I always had my friends up at Glenelg, and we could go up there and live in the cross. So they got their holidays. They just didn't get expensive stuff because I didn't.
No, neither did mine. I didn't buy it, but I would have never bought designer stuff.
No.
I didn't buy designer stuff for me. I didn't buy designer stuff for Billy. When my kids were wee, I used to shop in Cheap and Cheerful. And then Cheap and Cheerful went away. In fact, when I went and shopped in Cheap and Cheerful, I got my kids' school uniforms in it, right? And my pal went, oh no, I need good quality stuff, I need to go to Marks. I said, well, you go to Marks if you like, Cheap and Cheerful's good enough for me. So I went to Cheap and Cheerful and I bought them like 3 or 4 uniforms. She needed 5 because she was working all week. I was working as well, but I could do my stuff at night on a Sunday or whatever. Anyway, I had like 2 or 3, maybe 4 outfits, depending on how much it cost me or whatever. And then my kids' trousers out of Cheap and Cheerful, they were only like something like $3.99 or $4.99, and hers was like $8.99 in Marks. My Wayne's trousers lasted longer than her Wayne's out of Marks.
Yeah.
And she paid double the money to what I paid. She was always having to buy him new stuff all the year round, whereas I didn't. I bought 3 or 4 to do for the year. You know, when they started the year, they would be a wee bit longer than they should have been, and then when they finished the year, they would be a wee bit shorter than they should have been, because I would go 2 weeks before the school finished and buy a new pair of trousers.
Oh no, because they would just be bin before the school started.
Oh, that's what I said to him. But Robert doesn't like that. He didn't like that. He said it was embarrassing. But, you know, hey ho. But I couldn't have afforded to just go out, Joan. I had to budget for everything I was doing. You know? So if that's the worst thing you can moan about, son, I said you're bloody lucky. At least you had your dinners every day. You had a roof over your head, you had electricity, you had heating. You know? You had what you needed.
Well, that's
you
true.
Just been a wee bit shorter than they should have been. Get real.
And you look at the kids these days that are finding themselves and homeless and bed and breakfast and everything else. They were lucky. And Gary's saying he had to wear stuff out of charity shops, ex-Army Navy. The ex-Army Navy store was great.
I never did that. Oh, I think Robert would have had a fit if I'd done that, I'll tell you.
I got some great stuff out there at Army Navy stores for my boys.
I've never been in an Army Navy store. I didn't know they had stuff like that.
Well, mine were always into their camping and fishing and all that kind of stuff, so I visited them quite regularly, the Japanese fleet admiral. But again, people don't want to do the second-hand thing now, but again, there's an element there There's so much waste on the planet now.
Well, Caitlin, my granddaughter's a bit like that. She wants the best of everything. She doesn't want MD else's. Wee Paige, she's happy to take MD else's, you know. In fact, my pal gave me stuff to take up to the two girls. Caitlin looked and went, no, don't think so. Wee Paige went through it and, can I have this? Can I take what you like, pet? So she's taking in some of the things that didn't fit her, right? And then she was like, Gran, has so-and-so got that other bag of clothes for me yet? She's waiting on the other bag coming up. She's easy Ozzy, Wee Paige doesn't bother. She's like us, Joan, I don't bother either, you know. But, I mean, she's gone to a wee party, but we've been trying to get the Wayne for like 3 weeks to tell us what dress she wants. No, I'll just wear one of these dresses. I said, no, you're not. Because Caitlin wouldn't wear it, so why should you? No, you'll get a new dress to go to your Christmas party, whatever it is. So we'll buy her a wee dress and a pair of shoes, but can we get that Wayne to tell us what dress and pair of shoes she wants? She doesn't ask for much, Joan. She's not a greedy wee lassie.
And I love to see that in children now.
She's a lovely Wayne. Absolutely lovely Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, she just, no, it's okay.
You mentioned that dreaded Christmas word. What did you do that for?
I love Christmas.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Oh, you know, Billy hated it as well, but I love it, Joan. Absolutely love it. I'm just hoping I'm alright this year, but I think I will be okay, because, you know, if you just surround yourself with people in Waynes and things like that, it usually makes it okay. So.
And where are you going to go this year?
Well, we've spent our last Christmases with Laura, so it'll be me, Laura and David. Maybe Robert will come, I don't know. But
Right.
There'll be me, Laura and David anyway. She's working Christmas Day, she's working Boxing Day, so I'll go through to hers on Christmas Eve. I'll probably go through on Christmas Eve, and then I'll go to see Andrea with the Waynes and things like that, and then I'll see her on Christmas Day. And then, I don't know, I think the girls are at their mum's this year, so I'm not really sure what's happening, but I know we'll be going to Laura's. I'll be
good
to
then.
Laura's
That's
because
good
she's working, and that's who I spend my Christmases with for years, Joan. It was always me, Billy and Laura, you know. Even when she was down south, we went down south, it was me, Billy and Laura.
So you'll get the dinner ready while she's at her work?
Aye. Well, I'll be prepared before she goes to work. I'll be prepared the night before, to be honest with you. So, and it'll just get stuck in the oven, or the oven will just go all turned on at a certain time, and then she'll be in. So, usually the only day, it's a short day on Christmas Day. But I think they were warning the staff this year that you'll not be in and out as quick as normal, you know. So fine, okay, they're paying you for it. So if you agree to work it, then you've got to work till the work's done. And that's just the way it is.
Aye, unfortunately. I mean, my daughter will be wanting Christmas. She works in elderly folks' care home. But she actually likes working Christmas because she's got a bit of oomph about her, and we'll make it a really good day for them, you know.
Aye, good.
My kids are like me, they're not really into Christmas. I think I had an influence there.
Well, that's probably, but I loved Christmas, but Billy hated it, absolutely hated it, Joan.
Well,
He just seen it as being commercial. I don't know why. I asked his brother last week. I said, he didn't like Christmas either, and I said, you don't like Christmas either. So neither did Billy. You know, I told you before, one time I left Billy on Christmas Day, so here, I've had enough of this, I'm off. And I said, are you going to sit like that all day? I said, I'm not sitting with you. So I took the 3 Waynes. I said, right, get whatever toy you want, kids, because we're off. They're like, where are we going? And I went up to Auntie May's house to visit her, and I said, I'm going to my sister's. And she went, what, your sister's? But yeah, and where's Billy? I said, in the house. Doing as usual, I'm not sitting with that grumpy face today, right? And I went away to Auntie May's, and she's like, Theresa, you can't go chapping someone's door on Christmas Day. I said, I'm not chapping someone's door on Christmas Day, it's my sister. And she went, yes, but it's Christmas Day. Yeah, that's right. But she won't have counted to you if you're done. I said, don't talk rubbish, she'll have plenty of food. I said, if she's not, then she'll make something else, she'll just need to add something else to the pot. So don't worry about it. There'll be plenty for us all, we'll just make it go round. Oh my goodness, that's horrendous. She says, I couldn't cope with 4 people turned up to my door for Christmas dinner.
No, I'm afraid I'm with Billy. It's the commercial. I Christmas is supposed to be about the birth of Jesus Christ if you're a religious person, yeah? I'm not a religious person, so it's no for me anyway, but the actual commercial stuff of it is what really, really annoys me, Theresa. I find myself getting really irritated by it, you know? And by people running about spending money they haven't got, getting themselves all stressed out for a day.
Been there,
For
up
a
to
day.
eyeballs in debt, paying it for a year.
Crazy.
I've done all that, Joan. I can't say I did it. I did do it. I was nuts.
Yeah.
I was absolutely nuts.
I don't think I ever really did do it to that extent. Obviously, when the kids were wee, I would do their stockings and stuff like that, you know, and give them wee bits and pieces, but I never ever went overboard. And actually, my middle son, Rory, had, not so long ago, went, I'm really glad you were like that. I says, why? He says, because, see, when the missus is getting all stressed out about Christmas, he says, it's like, nah, no doing that, no going there, you know. There's no point. And there isn't. We get ourselves all stressed out about a day. And it's supposed to be a day, it's supposed to be a religious thing, right? It's supposed to be celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. Now, I can't say whether Jesus did or didn't exist, did I? I wasn't there. I have no first-hand knowledge.
No.
I'm a spiritual person, I'm not a religious person, you know. I do believe there's a creator. I do believe that creator's provided everything we need in this earth. And I do believe that God is within each and every one of us. We're all one. I don't get into the whole Christmas hype though, no. No, that's religious stuff that has become commercial.
Well, I was wrapped up in that commercial crap, I have to say. Especially as my kids got older, do you know what I mean? But, I mean, my ways had everything. I bought them snooker tables. So what I used to do was I would buy one big thing each, right? And I would buy one big thing between them. So one year I bought this massive, it took up the whole living room. It was a massive table tennis. It was like a 6 foot by 8 feet or something like that. It was mental.
Well, my son and I have a wee portable table tennis net that we just put in the dining table, so it only cost us a tenner.
That's a big one that stood on its own legs and folded up and all that, you know.
And you didn't have room in the house for it.
I didn't have the house for it. It was mental. And then another year I bought a big climbing frame for the garden. So Billy built it all up in the bedroom, right? So David, it took I had taped to the bed, there was no room for a bed in the room, right? So David kept going on the seesaw and battering off the wall. So it's a big chunk of them. I says to Billy, you're going to have to put that out in the garden. I says, you need to take that down and put it out in the garden. And David says, it's okay, Santa got it in, so Madame get it out.
Aye.
So I was a bit mental.
Aye, did the council fix your what? Oh no.
No. So I can't say I didn't do it, Joan, because I was a bit mental, and I'm still to this day mental at Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
But there you're talking earlier on, right, about young lassie benefits, waiting on benefits. If she's gone on to universal benefits as of today, she could yesterday, she could potentially be sitting with nothing.
Yeah.
At Christmas time.
Yep.
Now, as much as I don't like the whole commercialisation of it, I also don't like to think of somebody sitting with nothing.
Yeah, you're right. Joan, I'm absolutely amazed. In fact, I said to Phil last week, you know, Phil, you're going to have to get a minibus, because everywhere he goes, he keeps meeting people that are on their own. And I don't think there's anybody on their own, right? But there are.
Oh, there's many people on their own. Many.
But Joan, I didn't think there were anybody. I thought everybody had somebody somewhere, a friend, a brother, a sister, a cousin, an auntie, an uncle. Everybody had somebody. But no, he keeps picking up all these folk that are literally on their own. But yeah, they do have, like we met somebody and she was going in to get a hip operation, right? So we were like, well, you can't do that yourself then. No, you can't do that. And she's like, eh? She's a cracking lassie. We went and got her yesterday, took her out with the whole day. She's just had a hip operation. I says, listen now, you're going to have to rest because you're going to be in absolute agony. But I phoned her the day she was alright, you know.
And is this somebody that's totally on her own?
Well, she does have a son, but he doesn't stay with her.
Right.
And you know what boys are like, they're as much used as a chocolate watch. You know, a son's a son who takes a wife, a daughter's a daughter all your life. That is definitely a true saying, you know. In fact, I was in the lift with Phil yesterday and he bumped into somebody and the guy said, he says to him, have you seen your dad, mate? And the boy went, no, I've not got time. And he said, his dad stays across there and he stays in his. I went, you want to go and see your dad, pal? I said, before he's not here, you can't go and see son or you'll be sorry. I'm just that busy. I went, but you can't spend 5 minutes for the man that brought you into the world. I just find him getting dead cheeky, John.
You might be speaking cheeky. You just noticed.
Could you believe it? The thing was just out my mouth before I realised.
Aye.
You know? It's horrendous. But, you know, and then he's got this other wee pal and he's helping her, he's going to the shops. He can't do nothing himself. He's in absolute agony.
And how long's he going to have to wait to get some money since they took him off his pip?
I don't know how long he's... I think we're going to do something. I don't know what we're going to do, but when I go back, I'm going to get hold of him on Wednesday, and I'll talk to him on Wednesday and we'll see what we're going to do. But, I'm
assuming he's going to do a mandatory reconsideration of that. He has to.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's a reconsideration to be considered. He's already took it to the MP and she's in damn all. That was a fortnight ago and she's not even phoned to say if you get money for a pint of milk.
Isn't it terrible?
I mean, this is the problem. And this is people, it's not just so-and-so, maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, Joan. I know for a fact these stories are correct. They're no stories. It is what's happening.
What's happening to people now?
It's what's happening to people up and down the country. And it's not just people on the dole. People on tax credits are going to be up shit creek without a paddle next year. Yeah,
because the way their benefits are going to be paid is going to change as well, and that's going to cause delays. So people will be sitting again without the money to pay their bills or the money to buy their...
The evictions are going to go through the roof, Joan. And that's what we should maybe be doing, you know, we should be getting wee teams in different areas, and how long have I been saying this, but we've not done it yet. We should be getting wee teams in the areas to go to the courts on the days that people are getting evicted.
To
see how many people are getting evicted and then assess it. Know what I mean?
Yeah, and Gary's saying there are no new house builds in Scotland at council level. No, Gary, there are all these Kingdom Housing or the various housing associations now. There's no new council builds being done at all.
Well, there is council builds being done. Robert got one 2 years ago and it's a council build.
Oh, well, good for him, because I was looking into it here, but it's mainly your Kingdom Housing. They've taken down a whole...
They're building houses everywhere, Joan.
Yeah.
Everywhere there's houses being built, everywhere.
But they tend to be for associations. There's the odd council, but...
Right, sorry, this is an association, it's not a council, right?
It tends to be associations.
Yeah.
And again, the rents are dearer.
Well, you could have the money that the rent is for this house, you could have a mortgage for it. In fact, Laura's mortgage is cheaper than this house.
Really?
Laura's mortgage is cheaper than the rent for this house, aye.
I see, it just goes to show you. Well, see, I've said this before, where we are here, I mean, you've seen young couples, right, 2 bedroom, there isn't I think there's about half a dozen council houses left here. There's no real council houses here now. I think you'd wait a 50-year waiting list for one, so we'll discount them. So a lot of the young'uns have to go to private landlords, particularly as they have to have large deposits these days and whatnot, you know. So they'll go to private landlords for rental. They're paying a ridiculous amount of money. 650 quid for a 2-bedroom house, and there's no room to swing a cat in them.
Yeah, well, this is the same. The rooms in this house, the rooms are not. The rooms in these houses are not correct, Joan.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the size they should be. You can get a double bed in it, end of story. You cannot get a wardrobe in it. There's no room for a wardrobe.
Yeah.
You know, you can, 1 bedroom in this house, you can get a single bed in. If you put a double bed in, that'd be the whole room taken out, go from wall to wall.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's nothing else. You'd be lucky if you can get in and out the room. You know? It would go from wall to wall. And you would only be able to have it one way, because you couldn't put it on one of the walls because the door opens in the way. So it's too wide. It only fits. It's only wide enough for a single bed at the door wall, right? If you put it coming from the window, you would get the bed coming down from the window. I hate a bed under a window, right? And you couldn't put it wall to wall. So you couldn't turn it and take it away from the window and have it going from one wall to the other, because it would be too big. The bed would be too wide, too long.
Yeah.
And that's a room. No, Lord Froud said that's not a room. You can call it a cot room, a computer room, a cleaning room. You can call it any room you like, but you cannot call it a bedroom.
Yeah.
And the other one's no much better, although it is a bit bigger. That would take a double bed, and it would take a big double bed coming down from the window and going wall to wall. It might have a lot of space after you put that double bed in. Don't know. In fact, I'm going to turn the main bedroom tomorrow just to try it. But I don't think there would be space to walk by. You could jump out of the bed every time you wanted to get to the window.
Alright, because we're used to jumping out of bed.
That's the new builds. That's 2-year-old. That's the new build crap that they're building.
Yeah, it's as little space as they can put in there, and that's what you're left with. And they're charging an absolute fortune for it. Gary's just put in there that Israel 3... Oh, Scotland beat Israel 3-2 for anything interested. I'd like to see them...
No interested. We're interested in the people that are getting starved up in this country.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Israel stop doing their nonsense. I'm not really interested in the football, but Angel's put in as well, there is that many bills, legislation, that nobody can afford to lift unless you're a thief, immoral, or part of the rapist and pedo club. And sadly, I have to agree. You know, the ones that can afford to live and are taking all the money that should be distributed more equally, let's say, they're all corrupt. And how do you begin? How do you begin?
I mean, imagine sacking Amber Rood at the beginning of the year and bringing her in again. So she gets sacked for lying, you said, and now she's back in. Is that because people would forget who she was and what she done?
Well,
so they just pat you off for 6 months and then we'll bring you back.
Oh, look, if you're in the club, you're in the club, so they might try a
because you're part of them, aren't you?
I'm going to have to slap your wrist here because you told lies, so you're out the cabinet, but I'll get you back in first time there's a chance. This is exactly what happens with them all. There was a guy on one of the programmes, I only saw a wee clip, I think it was Andrew Marr the other day, and he was asked about the universal credits. Now, he was asked about a girl who was in a wheelchair, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, needed looking after her, Gran looked after her, and they're taking this lassie's benefits away. Now, this character spoke for about 5 minutes about, I have done this, I have done that, I've done this, I've done that, I've spoken to people on these benefits, and he just totally dismissed the lady that was being denied her benefits, didn't even answer the question. And this is part of the problem. politics has become such a pantomime that's what people are looking for now. And even when I was into politics, and I was a bit of a politics geek at one point in my life, you know. We were brought up in politics and whatnot. But even when I was into politics, that was the thing that always really, really annoyed me, was that I wanted people to answer the questions, and all they did was slag each other off. And you know what? I'm seeing this now in alternative media, you know, and the so-called truth movement and all the rest of it. I'm seeing this now. They all take a stance and they get entrenched in their own bit. I wish people would just get a grip and realise that there are certain things we have to stand up and stop.
And this is one of them.
Aside. This is one of them. Yeah.
Definitely. Can I tell you, I've got a wee article here from Universal Credits, right? And it's from the BBC on the 11th of October, right? And it said that Universal Credits has proved controversial almost from the beginning, with reports of IT, massive overspends and administrative problems, right? It says it's being rolled out across the UK, which we all know, but now concerns are being raised that 3.2 million working families, no people on the dole who are no working families, 3.2 million working families will lose £48 a week compared with the old system. Right? Now, it then goes on to say that further down it says, to get to it, the independent office, now remember, down the street have put 3 billion, not 5 billion, it says, well they've put 3 billion in total has been set aside to ease the process, okay? Ensuring that no one moving from the old to the new system will lose out initially. They're not saying they're not going to lose out in the long term, but at the beginning they're saying you'll not lose out because they've put 3 billion into the pot to ease it for some people, okay? Now remember I said 3.2 million working families are going to lose £48 a week. The Independent Office for Budget Responsibility says 400,000 claimants will receive the protection. But there's 3.2 million working families. Now if there's 3.2 million working families and there's the people who are no working that are being affected by getting moved from the old system to the universal credits, like the two people I talked about earlier, who they just sign off and then they've got to go through the new system, you know.
There's still a big shortfall there.
There's
Theresa.
a massive shortfall. So the majority of people are not going to be protected. The majority, not the minority, you know.
Well, if you're saying 400,000 out of 3.2 billion are going to be helped.
But it's more than...
We're talking about 2.8 billion not going to be helped.
Yeah, but it's more than that, Joan. Because you've got to count the people who are getting moved from the ESA system to the... You're probably talking about... If they're saying 3.2 million, it's probably in excess of 6 million.
Yeah.
I think you could comfortably say, and it's in excess of 6 million people who are going to be affected.
Yeah.
And only 400,000 claimants will receive the protection. Does that mean the claimants are on working tax credit? Or does it mean the claimants on the dole system, the unemployed system, the sickness benefit system? What system do they mean? Are they going to protect people?
Yeah. Yeah, and they've said that disabled people are losing $300 a month under the universal credit system. That was in the Independent at the end of October. Now, their families, you're saying they're going to lose £48 a week. So there's a couple of £100 a month, Theresa. Are they going to be able to pay their council tax? Are they going to be able to pay their electricity?
No, it's an absolute shambles. And don't don't forget, they've cut the benefits down for the allowances for the tax, the rents and the council tax.
Mhm.
They've cut that down as well. So people are getting paid less than what their actual rent is. So your rent could be £400 and you're only entitled to £320. One of my other friends is in that very position. Her rent is like £380, but her allowance, because she's just a single person, it's only a 1-bedroom flat, and her allowance is £320 maximum. So she's got to find the shortfall of the £60 a month to pay for her rent. So she's got to take it out the benefits that the government says she needs to live on. Either you need it to live on or you don't. If I don't need it to live on, what the hell are you getting it for? If I need it to live on, who the hell are you to take a penny off it? If that's what you say I need, if you say I need £60 to live, I need £60 to live. I can't live on £59.90p.
Well,
You've said I need £60, so how can you then say anybody can touch that £60? That is against the rules, it's against the tax credit rules, and it's against the benefit rules. Section 187, I can't remember. I think it might be the 1992 Act.
Well, that's the whole... If you
Nobody's
say,
allowed to touch your benefits or your allowances. Nobody's allowed to touch them, and everybody and their granny wants a share of them.
and
They're
everybody...
not supposed to be able to touch them.
No, but they've been sanctioning them now for how long?
Too long.
Taking benefits off you. And that was always something that didn't sit with me either. How can they possibly sanction you and take money off you when what you're getting is the minimum that they've deemed that you need to live? I mean, it's nowhere near the minimum you need to live these days.
No,
But-
not at all. You can't live in it. It's an impossibility. You might be able to exist if you go and visit a few friends through the week and get your dinner with them and things like that, but you couldn't possibly live on it. It's
No.
impossible. I told you, Joan, if it wasn't for my family, I'd be stuffed.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate, and I understand and I realise I'm very fortunate, you know. I didn't do my show, I did do it last week, didn't do it the week before because but my blood pressure's been through the roof. You know, my blood pressure, my brother-in-law went and bought me a machine to take my blood pressure, right?
Mhm.
But I thought I was alright, Joan.
Uh-huh.
And he went and bought me the blood pressure machine, and he brought it up and I put it on my arm. It was 210 over 120.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, eh? That can't be right, he says. So we takes it again, and it was still 200 odds. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm sitting here, I'm watching the telly, I'm relaxed, I'm not doing anything.
Mhm.
Now, I'm okay, Joan, financially, right?
Mhm.
I'm not worrying about where my next meal's coming from. I'm not worrying about, well, maybe council tax, but I don't need to worry about it. I just need to give this number to my wee daughter and she'll phone and sort it out, right? Sheriff officers keep coming to my door and I don't even answer the door to them. It's just too stressful. Now, I think I'm quite a strong person, right? And I know that's something I don't need to really worry about. But I just didn't know what was wrong with me. So of course I've got this blood pressure machine, so I thought, right, okay, I'll just keep taking it and try and get it down and things like that. I was on beta blockers, right? And I checked up and it had killed 800,000 people last year.
Why does that not surprise
800,000
me?
people, eh?
That doesn't surprise me, no.
So I decided I'm not taking them anymore. So of course I've stopped taking them, my blood pressure's through the roof, right? So I come up the road and I'm thinking, I did nothing, Joan. My brother-in-law cooked all the dinner, he'd done everything, took me out to the theatre, we watched videos. In fact, he says, Theresa, what kind of films do you like? And I'm like, I don't know. You don't know what films you like? And I went, no, Billy picked them. I don't know, I couldn't have told you the name of a film. And he went, right, okay, well I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll just go on my 5 favourites. He said, and we'll watch them. So that's what we done, and it was okay. I said, right, cool. One of them I had already seen, but I didn't realise I'd seen it till I got to the end of it, which is what I did. That's how I couldn't tell you what I like, you know. anyway, it was good, and I was just relaxing, sitting watching the telly and all the rest of it. My phone didn't go half as much as normal, right? Didn't even go a fraction of what it normally goes, Joan. And it was driving him nuts. He's like, that fucking phone never stops. Oh, sorry. And I went, that phone's hardly went. He went, are you kidding me on? I went, no, that's quiet. Oh, for God's sake, he says, that's ridiculous. Right? But I didn't answer the phone when I was eating my dinner. I didn't answer the phone when I was watching the telly. You know, I just didn't answer the phone when I was with him. I answered it some of the time, but not all of the time, if you know what I mean. So, but my blood pressure being high was a bit of a problem, right? So I thought, how am I going to get this down? So, bear in mind, Joan, I haven't done anything. I'm totally relaxed, so I'm thinking I shouldn't have high blood pressure. There's got to be an underlying health problem, right? So I came up the road and I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get this blood pressure down. So I phoned Phil and I went to see Alec and sat talking to Phil for about 3 hours. He's like, you're in your head, that's the problem. Although you're relaxing, you think you're relaxing, your head's gone 10 a dozen. You've got all these issues going on in your head. So we talked about all this stuff. I talked to David, talked to Laura, talked to Alec, and you know, when I went to Eric, I felt excellent yesterday. I thought, that's it, I'm sorted. But seeing I took my blood pressure, it was still 210.
You didn't get yourself in that distilled water.
Right, well I did that yesterday, right? So what I did was on the Sunday it was too high, so Phil's like, no, that's far too high, you need to get that down then. So we talked and told them all the things that was bothering me and all the rest of it, right? And then we just talked about all the shit with the DWP and all this kind of stuff, so all the issues that and then he said, right, distilled water, like the distilled water, so I made up with distilled water. I've not used that distilled water since Billy died, so I made up with distilled water. I put the Epsom salts and the coconut oil in my bath, then I put the arnica on my knee for the pain in my knee, and then I took a colloidal silver that Big Jim had made up for me, so I took that. Then yesterday I had the Manuka honey anyway, so I took a spoonful of the Manuka honey, and then I had a couple of no tea, no Tetley or anything like that. I've just been taking apple tea and strawberry tea, right, so I've been drinking that. So I came into my boys last night, so I came up to my boys, I was at Alex, I was like, nah, I feel brilliant, I feel excellent, I'm brand new now, I'm okay. Came up here, took my blood pressure, it was 154, that's good, you know. So I know I know it's still too high, but it's better than 210.
Oh, much better.
You know,
Much
it's
better.
154 over like 99 or something like that, so, well, it's going down. So I'm going to do this for a week, because I've decided I'm not taking any more of their stuff, you know.
Right.
It's just 800,000 people beta blockers killed last year, and I was taking them. Don't get me wrong, it did take down the blood pressure, but do I want it to give me a heart attack? No, I don't. You know, so I'm not taking it. So,
And there's so many of the medicines out there. I mean, they prescribe this omeprazole now.
Omeprazole?
Aye.
I've had that for years.
That's causing as many problems as it's preventing.
Yeah,
It's
I've
not
actually got a
preventing
prescription for the doctor, Joan, that I never cashed in.
Well, they've just taken my mum off it because my mum was on it and I hadn't realised that. And she was getting stomach pains. And she's taking medicines because she's getting stomach pains, and I'm saying, have you had that checked out? But actually her stomach pains are caused by hardening of the arteries in the stomach. She's fine elsewhere because she's just had the colonoscopy. Or endoscopy, the one down the throat to look at the stomach and whatnot. And she's just had that, so that's fine, but she's got hardening of some of the arteries in her stomach. Omeprazole's not going to help that, but that's what they've had her on, you know.
Well, that's for an ulcer.
Well, that's what they've had her on, and it's been giving her more bother than anything. But when I started looking into that, I saw that loads of people were having problems with this. Look at your tramadol now. Folk are all addicted to that. You know, I can list them over the years, the amount of medications that people become addicted to. you know, they go to the doctors, they get a prescription, they're not looking into, they're giving you something to stop the symptoms. They're not looking into what the actual root cause of the problem is and sorting that. They're just, oh, here, take a prescription. Here, take another prescription. Now, I'm not saying all the doctors are like that, but quite a lot of them are.
And that's how they make their money. There you go, that's that commercial shite again. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but as your Billy would say, you know, it's no, don't go these people. Look for your natural stuff first.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I've made an appointment. But you see, Joan, again, Phil took me to a place yesterday that he had gone to. It's a homeopathic.
Yeah.
Right? And I went in yesterday to make an appointment. The consultation is £40.
Aye.
Right? That's for 45 minutes to 1 hour. And then they'll give me the medication that I need, and it's a bit cheaper when I go to her to get it than if I just buy it off the shelf. And it's supposed to be specific to me and my body.
Yeah, well, the homeopathic takes much more into account. Aye, but again, like you say, it's expensive.
£40. The government say you can live in £73. How can anybody take £40 off for £73 to go to a consultation? And not only the consultation, they've got to then buy the medication.
Yeah, but that's what Big Pharma and the government done. They have created a codependency where people are very dependent on them now.
Oh, definitely. Oh, come on, Joan. People couldn't afford it, because you would need to save up for weeks and weeks and weeks to be able to afford 40 quid. And it's probably going to cost me the guts of 100 quid.
Yeah, and anybody in benefits couldn't afford that, because
no, not at all.
Spare.
Not at all. It's an impossibility. You can't afford it, you know. You just can't afford it. You don't have the money for it. Do you know what I'm saying? If that's all you've really got is your benefits, then you couldn't afford to go to a homeopathy. So you have to take the poison that the doctors are giving you, because really that is all it is. If they're issuing out that amount of medication and 800,000 people died using it, one person dying using it is one too many. No, never mind 800,000.
Yeah, I totally agree. Agree. But it's not going to stop them dishing it out, is it?
No, of course it's not. It's not going to stop the people taking it who don't have a choice to do anything else.
Yeah. And I remember talking to Billy about this, because we had been talking about the amount of people that see the doctor as the expert. You know?
Oh, yeah, we did ourselves at one point.
Yeah, if you go along and the doctor says this, then you do that. And, you know, I mean, you look at the amount of people that do become addicted. We've got a huge issue with prescription addiction. Pardon me.
I mean, Joan, I have to get into the hospital on Friday, right? I have to get into the hospital on Friday to get an injection on my hand. You know, the hydrocortisone. I'm scared to get in there, Joan, in case I don't come back out again.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared that they do something that they shouldn't do. The last time I went in there, but it wasn't for that injection. It was for my knee operation. And I went in for my knee operation, they couldn't wake me up.
Right.
If it wasn't for the fact that it was a Friday, they would have kept me in the hospital overnight. I was only supposed to be sleeping for about an hour, and I slept for 8. And she tried to wake me up, and I was like, falling asleep. And my Stirling, you need to sit up. And I was sitting up, and then she would go to the door, and I'd go, plop. And I was back down again. And I woke up, this wee man was looking at me, must have been about 6:30 at night. The place had emptied. There was only me in it. I was only meant to be in for 3 hours, I was in for about 10. And she's like, Mrs. Stirling, we need to get you out of here, or we're going to have to move you to a hospital. I said, this is a hospital, but this ward closes, she said, so we're going to have to transfer you to another hospital. She says, because we can't let you out and you can't wake up. So I sat up, And I says, no, I'll be alright, hen, I'll just get up now. So I said, have you phoned my husband? And she said, aye. I says, right. Anyway, it took ages, and I said, thought you said you phoned my husband. She says, I did. I said, no, you've no. I said, you phoned my husband, he'd already be here, hen. So I know you've no phoned my husband, so why don't you just go and phone him, and he'll come and he'll get me, right? So she did at that point go and phone Billy, right? And he came, and by this time I was ready, and she put me in a wheelchair, and she wheeled me into the television room on a wheelchair. And then she was going to boot tidying up, and she comes back, she's running in, Mrs. Stirling, you can't sleep in that chair. I'm already sleeping on it.
You were just making the most of your peace and quiet and taking a good rest.
I swore I wouldn't get into hospital on a Friday for an operation again.
Is it just your hand injection on Friday though?
It's just a hand injection, but somebody's got to take me, or somebody's got to take me, somebody's got to bring me back.
Right.
So my sister will take me, she'll probably pick me up, or Phil will pick me up, or Ian will pick me up, you know what I mean, somebody will pick me up. But because you can't drive after it, do you know what I mean? So somebody
you'll not be able to drive.
To pick me back up again, you know, but I'm scared to get in for that, because what if they put something in that wasn't so effective as it was the last time? The big doctor's excellent, he's already done it before, I've had it already and it lasted like 5 years.
Right.
You know?
Right. So here's hoping this time it'll last you another 5 years.
Well, I'm kind of toiling with the idea, should I go in or should I cancel it, because, again, it's a Friday. And the last time they injected me on a Friday, I went home, Billy came and picked me up, Joan, and took me home at 7:30 at night, because the ward shut at 8 o'clock, might have been 10 to 8 or something, he picked me up, and he took me home, and I slept until the Sunday. The Sunday.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I was only meant to be sleeping for 3 years.
Yeah, it must have had quite an impact on you, the anaesthetic then, eh?
Well, there you go, so I'm a bit scared to go in for an anaesthetic in case I die. And they wanted me to go in on the 22nd October, and I went, no hen, I can't come in the 22nd. My man died on the 22nd, I crashed my car on the 22nd of September, and I ain't no way coming into hospital for an operation on the 22nd October. And she says, well, we'll make it well, okay, we can give you one more appointment. I says, as long as it's not the 22nd then. She says, no, it'll be the 23rd of November. I said, that's fine. Guess where I'm going on Thursday? The 22nd.
Where?
A funeral.
Oh.
Couldn't make it up.
You're quite superstitious, aren't you?
Oh, I did. I says to Jim, Stirling, this 22nd is haunting me. He went, I was married on the 22nd. I said, F off. Honest to God, that number's haunting me. Everywhere I go, everything's the 22nd. It's 5 minutes. I am dead superstitious, so I'm a bit scared to go in, so I'm not there yet. We'll see if I pluck up the courage to go, or if I just say, no, did you know what? I'm going to try alternative medicines for this.
You'll be fine, missus. You'll be fine. Just go with positive thoughts. You're going to go get it done, and you're going to be out of pain for a while. You'll be fine. And Gary's just put his first wedding was the 22nd August.
Oh, beat it! No way!
Well, Theresa, there's a 22nd in every month. There's going to be a few things happening on them. Something else I was going to talk to you about today. I don't know if you keep up with any of the current kind of stuff about there's a guy called David Noakes who made GC Math, which was proven a very effective treatment of cancer. But he's in court this week in Southwark in London because he didn't have a licence to produce it, and Big Pharma have obviously not liked that he was getting really good results for this. So he's in court this week. I wasn't sure if you would be keeping up with that one, but I know Ian Crane's down there supporting him as well. Southwark in London, side the Thames.
Oh right, oh no. Well, no, I've not been keeping up with that one at all, Joan.
No, I'm just hoping that, well, I'll keep an eye on that court case this week. They've admitted to not having a licence, you see. Because the thing is, you couldn't get a licence for it. But
Well, anything you can get a licence for isn't really breaking the law.
I know.
If you get a licence to do it, then it's no crime. If it was a crime, you wouldn't be able to get a licence. You can't get a licence to shoot somebody. Is that not what Billy kept saying?
That's
if I can get a licence to do it, I'm no committing a crime. Because if I was committing a crime, I wouldn't get a licence to do it. You couldn't get a licence to murder somebody. You couldn't get a licence to be a paedophile, could you?
Well, no, but a few of them seem
There you go.
A few of them seem to manage.
I know they manage,
and
but
get off it.
they're doing it without a licence. They're not getting a licence for it. So if you can buy a licence to do the thing, you're not committing a crime.
Exactly, but
There's no crime involved.
They're not committing a crime. I mean, he looked into. He was actually a member of Parliament at one point,
right?
But he had been going, the Alternative View conferences. And Ian R. Crane had been speaking at one of them and made a comment about this GC math because of the results it's had. And I've looked at a couple of studies on it there. It's been really effective against cancer. And it's to do with the biology. I'll not go into the biology because it wasn't really my favourite subject. But it's to do with the biology and how this GC math will destroy cancer cells and everything else. And the guy and his wife are in court this week because they were providing it to people, not in this country, in other countries where it was okay, and he was based in Guernsey, I think, when he was making it, so that he wasn't in the UK. But I'm certainly keeping my fingers crossed that this court case will open more people's eyes too, because there were a lot of people being treated on that and saying that, this was making a real difference to them. There were people beating the odds and, cancerous tumours shrinking and everything else that were being treated on that. But it's another thing, again, that Big Pharma and governments and everybody else that's involved don't want the public getting a hold of these things that he can produce for 40 quid. When they can be using chemo at how many thousand?
Yeah, I know. It's all to do with the money, Joan. It's nothing else other than how much they can make for their fat coffins.
Yeah.
I hope they all have a horrible, miserable, long, pain, suffering illness before they die.
I would rather just ship them out to a desert island somewhere and start again.
Yeah, well, that would be a good idea. So then that would give them the horrible, slow, miserable, painful death. And do to them what they've done to everybody else.
Aye, because they have never been in a position to know what it's like. Yeah.
They don't know what it's like, Joan, you're right. And they blame you and I. They'll say it's your own fault, you should have got up off your backside, done your job, done this, done that. Well, we've worked all our lives. But what we haven't done is scammed all our lives and trampled over everybody else to get to get more money, get up the ladder, whatever, do you know what I mean? I worked in a place, and the only way you could get up the ladder was sleeping. You're way up to the top, well, I was never going to get there. So forget that one.
No, that one was out.
That one's definitely out for me, so that was never going to be me. And that is literally what they were doing. They couldn't do the job, but it was because they were sleeping with the boss, they were getting the jobs. I told the CEO that when I left, and he went, I wish you'd came and spoke to me. I says, what about everybody else jumping into bed with her? Nah, you should be able to see that yourself, mate. You're the CEO. You should be going about your offices and seeing what's happening. Surely they can't do the job and somebody's better qualified.
Yeah, and there's another thing that came up this week. The CEO of Save the Children, have a wee guess at what her salary is.
Oh, it'll be in excess of £250,000. It's maybe up to £750,000 now.
Oh, no. You were right the first one. £247,000 salary.
Yes, they're all on that, Joan. Go and check any one of them.
So,
I've got a whole list of them all, Joan. The one that takes, if anybody out there really feels the need to put money to any charity, give it to the Salvation Army. They were the ones that took the least salary. £37,000
for the
salary.
right.
Everybody else's was 200,000, 140,000, 180,000. The one out the list that took the least money that I checked was the Salvation Army.
Yeah. There's also one called Mary's Meals. I think the CEO there takes a 50-odd grand salary.
Yeah, but I checked them all, Joan. I've got a whole list of all the charities. And maybe I'll put it back up again, you know. In fact, I said that the other day to somebody that I was going to go and get all my old stuff and bring it all back to the table because I talked about it a few years ago. But it might be good to bring it all back in again because it's new people that's here, and you know the number of taxis that we've got, like 100 years ago with no taxis, now we've got like all these different taxis, so all that kind of stuff, and the bedroom tax and all the rest of it. So maybe go and pull out some of the stuff if I can take myself into that room. I think I'm okay now. I think it's been running away, you know. Linda says to me, you be better getting rid of that house because you're never in it, you don't need it. And I says, no, but I like to have a base. And Phil said, you've actually stayed in that house 3 days since Billy died. That's all you've been in that house. 3 days. And I says to my pal, is that right? And she said, yep, that is right.
You've certainly not been in it long, that's for sure.
No, I've certainly not been in it long, you're right.
No.
So I think I'm okay now, Joan. I think I'm in a good place now. I'll just need to wait and see, but, you know, my brother texts me, say the end of the morning, and I said, no, I'm up at Roberts, and when I'm away on holiday with Laura, I think my sister and my brother and people that he knows is going to go in and do my house up for me while I'm away. So
Right.
I'll just pick the colours before I leave, so that when I come back it's all done for me coming back to.
Yeah. Theresa, you're always okay, but you're going to have your moments.
Yeah, I know, Hen, I know.
You're going to, you know, you were with that man for nearly 40 years.
Yep.
So you're going to have your moments where, but like they're saying, you've not really been in the house much at all.
I think Graham's tried to come and visit me. I've lost count of the number of times that Graham's tried to come and visit me, and every time I've not been there. Do you know what I mean? So,
but back to that charity one, so that's a good one. Put a reminder up because again at this.
But remember the charity ones. I'll go and see if I can get an update on how much they're taking now. You know, but
Yeah.
I'll go and pull it out, and then I'll go to the same place where I got the information in the first place.
Yeah, because again at this time of year, a lot of people will now say, right, I'm not doing Christmas cards, I'm going to give to charity. Let's not give to.
No, I wouldn't give a copper coin to charity.
I mean,
If I was going to, the only way I would give to charity, Joan, is if I could give it direct to the children.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to give it to their mums and dads in case they spent it on fags or drink or drugs or whatever crap that they feel that they want to buy. Do you know what I mean? If I couldn't give it to the Waynes, I wouldn't give it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, it's just a lot of people do, and again, seeing that Save the Children, you've got a director or a CEO on a salary of 247,000. You've got other people on salaries of well over 100 grand and everything else.
Oh, definitely.
Only 7 pence in the pound is actually going to help these children that we're trying to save. And while we're on that one, children in need and all that is coming up. The last thing you want to give to is any of this big TV events, because a lot of that's not getting to where you think it's going.
No, I know.
You know, that bugs me, I know. I mean, your BBC have got millions there, and they've invested it in the arms trade and pharmaceutical probably and everything else. When
See, Joan, see when I was younger,
children in need.
Yeah, Joan, see when I was younger and they were doing the Children in Need, right?
Uh-huh.
And they were, we've raised X amount of millions and we've saved, you know, and I used to think, why don't you just put some of your money in?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And you wouldn't need to do all this.
And the very same stars charge their expenses.
Billions.
Mm-hmm.
One person with billions could cover the whole bill. And
Yeah,
I used to wonder, why don't you just put your money in? Because you've got way more than everybody else. And then, of course, when I found out the reason they don't is because they're the charities and they're the ones that's making the money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then what do they do? They say they put it to charity and then they claim it back in their taxes. So what did they put to charity? Nothing.
Nothing.
Because they never paid their tax. So because they never paid their tax, they deprived the public purse of that money.
Yep.
To give back to the rich people again. Nah, I don't give to charity anymore, am I? Hell, no chance, man. I won't even put £1 in the bucket.
No,
never, no.
Certainly wouldn't be given to, and particularly no BBC Children in Need. I mean, their attitude to children has been quite dreadful over the years when they covered up for your Savills and all the rest of their paedophiles.
Yep. Well, that's how thousands of people are not paying their BBC licence.
I've not seen very much about that lately, but it's not going down very well, the amount of people that are now saying no paying it.
No funding paedophiles.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be paying their BBC licence anyway, because the BBC, the reason that the licence was put out in the first place was because they weren't going to be getting money from advertising. Well, they're now getting money from other sources. Their income source was supposed to be from the licence fees.
Yeah. But
they're getting money from other sources, which means they shouldn't be charging for a licence fee.
Yeah, and they were supposed to be a neutral and independent organisation, you know, where you would get actual true...
No chance.
No chance.
They own everything. You only get to hear... See, if they're telling you, it's because they want you to know. See this internet here? We're even on it now. I don't doubt for a minute they're in it with us. Hello, whoever you are, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? But they're listening to every single thing that you were saying. They're listening to everything that we're doing. So you don't really get to have a conversation that they don't know about. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my friend one of the times, and see the subject we were talking about, it came up on her computer.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about buying something, and the next thing is it popped up on her computer. She said, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "I would."
Oh, absolutely. I remember saying to my kids years ago, you watch, they are tracking everything you do on there. I said, I'll tell you what, go and search as if you're going to buy something. And they went and they searched, I think it was fishing rods. I says, you watch the adverts that will come up now on your wall. And it was all targeted to they were getting all the fishing rods. I said, right, put something else in.
Yep.
So I showed them that years ago, and it's even worse now with is it Alexa and Cortana or whatever these AI bots are? It's even worse now, you know.
Yep.
So, that's all about targeted advertising. That's all about getting more out of us. Sorry for the
all the time.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Absolutely crazy. So, what are we... I'm trying to think, how would you best try and organise people to even write to their MPs about what's going on?
Well...
To get more people to stand up and say...
I think in about another 6 months, I think come May.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe around about May, people will be really, really pushed.
Right.
And that's when it'll hit home. But I think, do you know that, I know it's not a good thing, Joan, right? Mm-hmm. But in a way, it is a good thing. Mm-hmm. Because, see, with the universal credits, I think that's going to push more people into being more family orientated.
Right.
and more looking after each other. So the more that they do this to the people, the more the people are going to congregate and come together. But that's going to take a few months, because don't forget, it's not out yet. It's just coming out.
Yeah, it's just been brought in.
Yeah.
And when the full effects are shown, more people are going to be far more aware, whether it's themselves or not. And that's one of the problems too. Sorry, I just read Gary's point there. MPs don't give a flyer, Joan.
No, of course they don't.
No, they don't, but we still have to hold them to account.
You've still got to hold them to account, and if you don't go knocking on their doors, you can't hold them to account. You can't complain if they don't do nothing when you don't go knock, knock, knock. Get knocking on your MP's doors, everybody. Tell them you're not putting up with it. Get it sorted. We're not going to take it anymore.
Well, again, I mean, we're looking at universal credit, right? That, in my mind, has to be stopped. We're looking at 5G. That, in my mind, has to be stopped. I mean, Mark Steele was on Open Your Mind Radio the other night as well. Did a really great show. But they're needing people all around the country now, leading people and getting them organised to say, no, this isn't happening. To put people on notice of liability. I love that Empower movement and what they're doing. They're putting people on notice of liability in their private capacity. Now,
Yeah, well, maybe, Joan, that Empower, you could maybe get them to come on the show and talk about what it is they're doing, and share with the people on this site what they're actually doing.
do you know what? I must get back to Carl Washington, actually. I know he was over to do some talks here, down in Nottingham and stuff. So I think he's back in the States now. I'll maybe try and get a hold of him, because they're certainly worth taking a look at, that Empowered, because what they're doing is saying, right, we're putting people on notice of liability in their private capacity. You can't hide behind the role.
No.
Yeah, you can't hide behind that. You're now going to be held responsible for any loss, harm or injury that comes from this. And I think we need to get organised and do that. And we need to wake our MPs up, because I actually don't believe half of them know what they're doing.
Joan, I mean, where are you? Dalgety Bay area kind of thing, right? So I'm in Glasgow. Some people's in there, so maybe we could hire a hall or something like that in the middle and try and get. I would bring everybody to my house, but that house is no good. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't really make a noise and all that, because the guy down the stairs doesn't like any noise. So it's a bit of a nightmare, and that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons I don't go to the house is because I kind of tiptoe about, and I was doing that before Billy died, so that's no new. Right? Trying not to make noise and all that kind of nonsense. So I was already living like that, so that wasn't a house for me, never has been a house for me. It's a bit of a nightmare. I'm not comfortable in that house at all. And the other thing is that I'm hardly ever there, you know. So I'm kind of tiptoeing about all the time, and he really wouldn't take it kindly if you had a whole team of people turning up at your door, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would have something to say about it. And I know I shouldn't have lived my life and I've got to live in my house and all the rest of it. But maybe once I get the house done up and I'm going to put carpets down. But that's the thing, Joan. I feel I never did it when Billy's living. Why do it now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to get together, and I know, like, putting people on liability notice, but we need to get together to prepare that liability notice.
Yeah, well, that's it. And agree, well, is that the way we're going to do it, or are we just going to let these people know that we know this, we want them to know that, you know? I don't know.
It's a big deal. I listened to Michael Bernicia, that guy that's doing that video, and he said, I had this, and I took it in and thought, they can't beat us. That's exactly what me and Billy said. They can't beat us. We've got this, and we were taking in the law, the legislation, the case precedent, and they just all lied, thieved and cheated, done what they needed to do to protect the bankers. They already knew I was telling the truth, they didn't care. How do you fight that in a court, in a corrupt court system? It's like I keep telling everybody, you know, you're going into my house, that's telling me my boy's done something to you, and my boy said he didn't. You want me to believe you're a complete stranger, I don't even know you. My boy said he didn't date, end of story. If somebody I knows comes and tells me, geez, your boy done such and such, I might believe that, you know.
Aye, but I would still ask my boy first.
Yeah, of
I would
course.
ask for his version.
And he's going to lie through his teeth, you know, he's going to lie through his teeth, because if he tells you the truth, you're going to do him in. So he's going to lie to you. But they knew they had lied. They even helped them. Here, come on, the Lady Peyton changed a word in a case precedent to suit them.
Yep.
She changed the word, she read it out and she went, oh, that must mean such and such. What? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, ought to help each
They're as
other.
corrupt as hell.
I'm hoping that Michael Bernicia, his pre-sales of the Great British Mortgage Swindle DVD looks like he's going to be in the top 10.
Well, good, because I didn't even know it was up, because we were going to go to the cinema. So I says to Phil, look, if it's going to come out in video, we're as well just using our monies to buy the video.
And have
have a DVD.
Have a DVD night and let people borrow it and whatnot, so that people
No,
are
I'm not going to
seeing
do
it.
that. No.
Well, right enough.
No, the purpose to that boy putting the DVD out is for people to buy it so that they can show it at their house if they want. But I don't think we should then go copying the guy's stuff, John.
Oh, no, I wouldn't go copying it. No,
I don't
it's
think
just,
that's right.
just
That
to
boy
get
took
it out
his
there.
years doing it, do you know what I mean? And I'm quite happy to pay it, and I've already got 16 that I'm going to be buying anyway.
Yeah, have you any more interest
No.
in... No.
No.
Neither have I on...
So, there's no
other
way I'm
sites.
going to get to people who weren't prepared to support that guy.
No, right enough. I'm just thinking more about getting people to see what's going on, you know? And I believe his film's going to open a few eyes.
Yeah.
And make people realise, well, actually, what I think's happening when I go and sign that promissory note, you know, the bank's no lending me any money at all, but they're keeping me paying them back for goodness knows how long. So I think it's going to open a lot of people's eyes, and that's got to be a good thing too. Things are certainly moving forward, Theresa. People are waking up, and I think you're right in terms of this universal credit, when it kicks in, is going to really open a few more eyes.
Aye. Well, there's another wee bit I found at the bottom of the universal credit in that article I was reading for earlier, right? It says what's gone wrong in that article. This sums it up nicely by the National Audit Office. The National Audit Office, which oversees government spending, said that the Universal Credit Programme was driven by ambitious timescales and that it had suffered from weak management, ineffective control and poor governance. That sums it up.
It does sum it up.
Weak management, ineffective control and poor governance. Who's holding all the IBAN pots to account? You know? But on the other side, you've got people who are out working and saying, well, I'm going to work, so why should I have to subsidise them? Maybe people like my daughter that think too many people are scamming the system, that are saying they're no fit to work when they're fit to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or saying they're no with their partner when they're with their partner or their husband or whatever. And what's the benefits of that kind of stuff. But, you know, if you only give people... Most people wouldn't choose to live like that, Joan.
No.
The majority of people would choose to live decent and take the allowances that they're given if it was enough to live. The problem is it isn't enough to live, so people are forced into pretending they're not with their partner when they really are.
Theresa, you said it earlier, how many thousands of these claimants are people that are working, but not
Billions
making
of them,
enough to live
billions
on?
of them.
Yeah, so, you
Yeah,
know,
there's more people in work in poverty than out of work in poverty.
yeah, yeah.
And I
there's
see it all the time. My son's the same every week. It's just no enough, you know. I see it all the time. And the ways are just looking for this. They've got no comprehension of where it comes from. They don't give a monkey's where it comes from. Just put it in my hand, please.
yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Remember I told you all that I went up to the school and I paid the money into the wains, made sure they've got their dinner money, they're not buying fags with my money.
Uh-huh.
Can you give me £2 this morning? I went, no, I don't think so, hey. Well, you're just like me, staff. I said, well, I tell you what, I said, you're working. Just get this wee babysitting job now. Use your own money if you don't want to use the dinner money. Well, I don't see why I should have to use my money to buy my dinner. Well, I've already supplied the money for your dinner. If you don't want to eat it, then you want to eat McDonald's or any pish, then can't knock yourself out.
Well,
Don't use my money. Use your own.
Aye, because that's not good for them either. No, quite right.
Is that no say at all?
Graham's put in there, by the way, ladies, Mark Steele also told me that if road shows are going to happen and we can get bodies, he will also appear in projector screen, etc. to waken folk up about 5G.
Perfect. Joan, I think me and you's going to go and get a camper van in.
Gary, I've told him he's coming up. There'll be no projector screens. He'll be getting his backside up here. Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, Gateshead, they're suffering the
But Joan,
consequences.
did I not hear you saying that your boys get camping stuff and all that?
Aye.
Well, we could put the camper stuff in the back of my car.
All right then. And sleep in hammocks.
I don't know about that, but I don't
Got a
know.
hammock there.
I don't know how I would cope with it, but I suppose it's up for a try.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll de-stress me? Reduce my blood pressure?
Oh, sleeping in a hammock under the stars, aye. It's an amazing thing to do. I love
What, have you
sleeping.
done
Oh, aye.
All right, okay. Well, I've never been in a hammock, so...
No, lately, but definitely, I've done that. And obviously tents and stuff. In fact, my son and daughter-in-law went away last year to Finland, and they slept in a glass roofed place, and so they could see the aurora borealis, and they said it was marvellous, but that was very expensive. But no, there's nothing like sleeping under the stars, missus. And a good night, that you couldn't do it in this weather.
Okay, stars in your eyes.
You couldn't do it in this weather, but no. I think we need to get a date sorted and get information out there. The universal credit, the 5G, common law stuff. Have you had any news about John Smith or?
No, not a thing. He's up at they know due up at court on the 4th of December.
Yeah, 4th of December, if anyone can make it along
I'm
there.
going to go anyway because I want to see what happens.
It's Paisley Sheriff Court, isn't it?
Yep. I remember you were coming to stay with me that night, remember?
I'm going to try and get through and maybe just stay with you the night before and go to the court case and then go and see my mammy. It's a pity we couldn't have organised a showing of the Great British Mortgage Swim Dough.
Well, maybe we could. Maybe we could.
Yeah.
Well, we can't do it in the 4th, obviously, because we've got the court case.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking there'll be a lot through for the court case anyway. So it might be a good thing, but no, we'll definitely need to get that, a showing of that arranged as well. And I'd definitely be up for getting into organising a day where we can take the word to people, you know, take the message to people about
We're
this.
going to have to do road shows, I think.
Well, your knowledge of universal credit and benefits and all these things is unbeatable. And you've studied for years and looked into this and helped people with it. So to have somebody like you out there that could maybe...
Oh, my pal's better than me.
Well, you and your pal that are passing on to, you know, a few people that will pass on to other people. This is what we need. They've always said, word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse
And she is out there, and she is no well, do you know what I mean? And she still goes out there and she still does a bit. She's doing more than anybody. She's running herself ragged. I was saying that here last night, you need to stop this.
Yeah, see, that's the problem too, that people like
And
that
people don't
end up
appreciate
doing
it.
it all
They're
the
taking
time.
advantage here.
Yeah, instead of learning it for themselves, they'll rely on your pal. I mean, I was talking to Graham, you know yourself, he does a lot of helping people with stuff like that, and that's what he was saying, is that he ends up giving all his time, when really what we should be doing is going, right, okay, here's what you do, you go on with that and give me a shout if you get stuck with anything.
Yep.
You know, but we end up being the people we are, and I've done it myself. You take care and you do it for them. But that's no, excuse me, that's rescuing people, it's no enabling.
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you the problem of taking over, because I did do it. And I even went into court, and I was standing up in the court and I was talking for the person and all the rest of it, right? I literally was doing everything for them. I was writing up the paperwork, doing, you know, they would tell me their bit and all the rest of it, but I would always tweak it. And I was in the court this day, and it was the other side had stood up and she said, we want Mrs. Stirling to be held accountable for the expenses of this court case. Because under rule blah blah blah, she's preparing it, she's doing it, so she's responsible. And I stood up and said, no, it's not me, I didn't prepare anything, she prepared it. And I said, do you want to tell them who done this document? She said, that's my document, every word. And she sat back down.
Good for her.
Do you know what I mean? So, it was hers. All I did was fix the grammar. But she wasn't able to prepare the document the way I'd prepared it. But I didn't know that they could have held you accountable for that. So I thought to myself, cheers for that one then. I'll not make that mistake again. So every other time I made sure that the people made sure it was theirs, and they sorted it, and they had the final say, and they produced the final document. A lot of it might have been my words, but it was their final document, no mine. And they always change something, eh?
It has to be. They have to take ownership of it. Yeah. Well, we'll see how we go with that one.
Right, so we really will, we will need to think about having something, and maybe, I don't know, Joan, I don't know where we would start. I'll maybe come out to your place one day and have a wee chat with you. And we can go through all the stuff. I'll just start running to your place now. Because here's another funny thing. Phil and Big Jim and Helen and Ian are all tired all the time, right? And a few of his wee pals and neighbours are all tired all the time, constantly tired. So I'm feeling brand new just now, Joan, right? But I haven't been in Glasgow for ages, okay?
Right.
I've been in Glasgow maybe, about an hour, 2 hours, and however length of time, I don't know. So I'm not really in Glasgow a lot. And I said, maybe, I could be wrong, there's something in Glasgow that's making everybody so tired.
Wouldn't it surprise me, Theresa, because Glasgow is one of the first rollouts of 5G, and they'll certainly be trialling that in some areas at the moment. I mean, they want it all up and running next year, 2019. I don't know which particular month, so there is no doubt in my mind that there'll be some of that, even if it's the LED lighting or whatever. People are getting smart meters fitted. You know, they'll be rolling out your 5G capability stuff throughout Glasgow. Wouldn't it surprise me at all? What really worries me is when they switch this on in places like Glasgow and Edinburgh and Manchester. Manchester's Vodafone are going for it. I think they're going to be one of the first to go live.
Yeah, because they make money, won't they?
Yeah.
They'll do anything that makes money. They don't give a monkey's how many people it kills.
Yeah, but what are we going to see after that? I mean, like I said, there's been a few studies with the mental health issues. When Bristol University was trialling it, the number of suicides went up massively. There was a report in that about the news because it interferes with your mental health as well. It's a neurotoxin, this stuff. It's attacking the brain. It can cross the blood-brain barriers and interfere with cellular regeneration. So, plus the fact with the LED lights, these lights aren't good for us. They can cause all sorts of eye problems. They can cause all sorts of neurological problems as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if something's going on, you know, if they've maybe turned some of that stuff on and people are being affected. And it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Everything gets worse, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't understand why they're letting it get worse and not doing anything about it. Because, you know, Nicola Sturgeon and Theresa May and all that, they'll become tomorrow's history, you know.
Absolutely.
And they've not done enough when they could have.
Were they ever going to, Theresa? I mean, I'm so sceptical now about anybody getting into politics. Were they ever going to do enough for us? Was it ego that drove them to their places? Because if it was ego that drove them to their places, then they're not there for the people.
They're not there for the people who are going to be taking £250,000 a year.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's not just this big
They're there for the money, they're only interested in the money.
Yeah.
Money talks.
It's a very expensive pantomime we live in these days, eh?
Yes. And that's, I just see it as a joke. It
is. I mean, I preferred the pantomimes of Francie and Josie, you know, at your pavilion and that, and the King's Theatre. The real life pantomimes just, I've had enough of it. I've had enough of seeing people suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the decisions of what I can only describe as sociopaths.
Gary's just saying, Joan, sorry, Gary's just saying that the folk are sleeping. You've already said that Billy was the one that woke you up to it all. This, not everyone has a Billy in their life, or a Grizz, or a Red, or a Theresa, or a Joan, and I get that. But we've woke loads of folk up. And we're still wakening people up on a daily basis. But what we need to do is get collectively a group of people in each area and get a soapbox. That's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need. And we need to be all singing for the same hymn sheet. No saying we're in story. We've all got a set agenda and this is what we say.
Yeah. Support each other to get the message out. Yeah. And we can have our differences. We're always going to have differences of opinion.
But we've got a common purpose.
Yeah.
To wake the people up, get them to get up off their backsides and do something.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, we all know they're scared. Here, come on, we're scared ourselves and we've been doing it for years.
Aye. That's what keeps everybody back, is that fear. You know, they're managing the new, but most people out there, the majority of ordinary people like ourselves, are 1 or 2 wage packets away from having nothing.
You're not even a wage packet, Joan, you're 3 days away from bankruptcy.
Yeah. Good.
That was last year. I said people are only a wage packet, and I get told by an MP, no, it's actually 3 days. They discussed it in the Parliament the week before, and it had been discussed that people were 3 days away, they'd enough money to sustain themselves for 3 days and no longer.
If that's no enslavement, what is?
Yeah, I know. But do you know something, Joan? See, when you break free, like I feel I've kind of broke free from them. So I'm not in that enslaved system anymore.
Oh, your mind can always be free. I remember reading years ago a guy called Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning, and he was in Auschwitz, I think it was Auschwitz, or one of the camps during the war, and that really was an inspirational book for me, because it's about your mind is always free. You know, you can always be free in your mind. You've got a choice. You know, and Billy put me on to as a man thinketh, that certainly helped me as well. Yeah, I'm still part of this system. Do I want out of it? Yes, I do. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of, us supplying military to Saudi Arabia and the horrors that they're doing with that. I don't want any part of supporting Israel and Palestine. I don't want any part of invading Syria or anything else. And I certainly don't want any part of living in a country where we can allow children to be homeless and families to be homeless, and they're good, decent working families, that end up homeless because of the way that we have allowed, you're right, we have allowed these governments to usurp everything.
Yeah, I mean, Tom, I was at a meeting one time with Tommy Sheridan. He said there should be one benefit, and if you qualify for one, you automatically qualify for the rest. That'll get rid of all the crap.
Yeah.
And that's actually right. If you qualify for that, you get this. So don't worry about it. Instead of that, you're going to have to go to one department to another department, and that's what the universal credits was supposed to do. Make it a one benefit or a one allowance, whatever we want to call it, so that you didn't need to go filling in different forms. But they've made it that complicated that it's phenomenal.
Well, that it's making people feel suicidal, Theresa. And that's what the thing.
People have killed themselves, Joan.
Yeah.
Sad as it is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're lining their own pockets and playing games where, because this Brexit's just a whole farce as well. It's all just big games.
That Brexit's they've already decided on that.
Oh, aye.
You can't even get out of Europe. It's just a joke. You can't get out. It's impossible. Even if they do, they'll still be tied. So what's the point?
It's all just mere makey-uppy because
it's a pantomime.
Well, they're telling us...
Enjoy the ride, it's just enjoy the film.
Well, they're busy telling us Brexit means Brexit and everything else. They were also busy signing our armies up to a European army.
Well, there you
go. Our forces up to PESCO. So, we were never coming out. We were never coming out. It was all just a pantomime. It's all just to keep us all distracted while they continue to do what they like.
No, I'll tell you what I think they're doing. I could be wrong. I think what they're doing is, in the background, they're going to change all the treaties and they're going to take away the sovereignty of the UK or Scotland.
Well,
I think that's what they're doing in the background. Signing fresh treaties to distinguish all the old treaties, and Scotland will no longer be a sovereign nation. I could be wrong, but that's what I think they're doing.
No, I wouldn't put it past them at all, but sovereignty lies with the people.
Yeah, but you need to go and claim it now. We're already sovereign, we didn't need to claim it. We're already sovereignty. We've already got a sovereign nation. All we need to stand up and say, we're taking our sovereignty back. But if they get rid of all the treaties, you'll then need to fight for it. So there's a difference, Joan.
Yeah, aye, there's a difference.
And that's what I think they're doing in the background. But
and preparing for this. And preparing for this new world order. One world government, whatever.
Well, we've already got a one world government, they just didn't tell us.
No, they're just the puppet masters.
Yes. They have got no clout at all. No clout whatsoever. They might be able to sort a couple of wee things. Do you know what I mean? But on the whole, if they say no, it's no. And it doesn't matter who you send, they don't give a monkey's, Joan. They don't care. The courts are corrupt, so even any court judgment coming out has already been predetermined and prefixed. So they've allowed that to happen, or they've allowed it to go through. I've been through court too many times, Joan, to think that there's anything decent going to come out of that. The only ones that anybody wins is the ones that they want them to win, so that they can then use it for some reason in the future.
Yep. Yeah. Which is how a lot of their MPs have got off with everything they've got off with, because it's all about keeping each other in each other's pockets and feeding each other's greed. Insatiable greed at that.
It's disgusting. How they can sleep at night, I don't know. My blood pressure's through the roof and I'm not doing anything bad to people.
Aye, well, you'll need to get that blood pressure.
I need to get that under control.
I don't know what Gary's going on about. Free chips. He was
I love chips.
I think he's talking about the chips that they insert in us.
Oh, alright, right. No.
The RFID chips.
No, I hope I'm right by then. I don't want any chip in my hand.
Can you believe that people would volunteer for that?
I do believe people would volunteer for that.
I
Because
don't
see
know
the number
what's
of
wrong
people
with-
I hear going, oh, that chip pin's excellent, just put, oh, it's so easy.
Uh-huh.
Saves me hassle. Oh, that internet's fantastic, I just order all my food that gets delivered to me.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know, I just use the machines there because they're quicker. You just put your stuff through. You know, I don't use the self-serve because that takes the job away for the person who's got the job. And even if I'm forced into it, because sometimes you get into a shop and they've no got the people on the tills have only got the self-service, I always get somebody to help me on the self-service, because on the self-service, they're by me anyway, but on the self-service they probably have got some kind of system whereby they're monitoring how many people get assistance at the self-service. So the more people that get help at the self-service, the less useful they are.
Yeah. But best to avoid them altogether, folks.
Best to avoid them all together, but sometimes you can't, Joan.
No, I know
Because I've
sometimes
got
you
nobody on the
can't.
tills.
I actually did it in Tesco's the other day. There was nobody on the tills. The only one available was the self-service. But I just shouted the woman over. I says, no, I want served at a till. So she put somebody on the till and I get served that way, because I'm like you. I saw right away what they were doing with these self-service tills. That's not to make things convenient or better for us.
No.
That's to save money for them.
Oh, definitely, it's always to save them money, it's never in our favour.
Yeah. So I mean, I do my best to avoid the self-service,
Yeah,
and
me too.
when I have used them, I've ended up arguing with them.
I hate them, absolutely hate them. But I mean, in Robert's place, you know, they're there, but I always get somebody to help me. Always. And I don't mind standing 5 minutes in a queue to make sure that person keeps their job.
Well, that's it, because the more self-service tills they put in, the more people that are going to lose jobs.
Yeah.
And they're not even great jobs, but at least they're jobs, you know. It's not like they're having a great wage or anything, but at least it's a job. And too many people without jobs these days, you know, so...
Yeah. Right, Mrs, I think we better wrap up. That's 11:15.
I was just thinking that myself, so thanks for inviting me on again.
Oh no, it was good. It's just not going to be the same show without you now, Joan.
I'll try and keep my Tuesday nights free, Mrs.
Aye, okay.
I'll have a wee look at my diary for coming through for the court case. I'm definitely going to try and get through for that.
My phone's not working, so if you were trying to phone me, I can phone you, but for some reason I'm not getting incoming calls.
Alright.
I don't know, wee Laura went into a panic last night because she couldn't get me. I hadn't realised she was looking for me because my phone hadn't rang. And then of course she ended up phoning her, honest to God. She ended up, poor wee Sybil was in such a state, it was a shame. She ended up phoning Linda at 10:15. Linda, I'd seen Linda during the day, and Linda phoned in and says to him, have you seen Theresa? Says, aye, Teresa's here with me the now. Says, Laura's phoned everybody, she can't find her. She's got her deed and crashed her car, and oh my God.
And they just let you after last week.
They just let me out.
Just give you your car
only
back.
got my bloody car back Saturday, you know. I thought, poor wee Sybil, so I need to make sure I phone her all the time, tell her where I am, you know.
Hopefully you'll get your phone fixed too.
She says, I couldn't cope with the two of you dying at the same time. I said, oh, don't worry, hen, I'm not going anywhere. Your blood pressure's too high.
But I'll tell you, seriously, get yourself onto that water. Get a few litres of that down you every day, and that'll certainly help with your blood pressure, because it's helped with mine.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, well, I'm off with sugar this week. I've cut out sugar. No cakes, no biscuits, no sugar, no tea, no dairy products. What can I say?
Do you feel deprived?
No, I'm alright.
That's alright then. That's alright then.
I'm
Right,
alright.
missus, I'll bid you good night. And
Alright, hen, good night. Thanks everybody for joining. The speak to yous later. All the best, and thanks for people in World Radio, for Wolf Spirit Radio, for listening in. Good night everybody. Thanks, Joan.
Tatty do, love, light and laughter.
Bye.
Bye bye.
When I was a lass, I was proud of me class, like my father and mother before me.
They taught me to fight for my civil rights.
And it's always the same old story.
The rich reign supreme while the poor can but dream.
And the Labour or Liberal or Tory.
And I say, bugger the bankers and politicians, bugger the bureaucrats too. Bugger the buggers who make up the rules, and if you're one of them, bugger you. And if you're one of them, bugger you.
The system is bent and the money's all spent. We're measured from every direction.
The workers get taxed while the wealthy relax.
With nary a moment's reflection,
When it's grass, there's muck.
and we don't give an off, 'cause we're programmed against insurrection. And I say, bugger the bankers and politicians, bugger the bureaucrats too. Bugger the buggers who make up the rules, and if you're one of them, bugger you. And if you're one of them, bugger you.
Now all you good people with passion to vent, don't give up the struggle for justice. But I've done my time on the protesters' line, and these days I show my dissent.